here today.
Pam wants everybody to know she's hot, so
Pam's hot.
They do know.
Is that why the camera's off?
That's why her camera's off.
She's so hot. She smoked up her
She's too sexy for the. Too sexy.
I'm wondering how many of you know that we're live right now.
We know it, but I don't know. I said, here we go.
Thanks
We're
for
live.
the heads up, guys.
I just got the notification.
You know,
Listen, that just puts icing on the cakes with the ball. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna be
I
quiet.
didn't
Well.
get the notification either, Yeller.
You didn't get it?
Well, I didn't have my computer turned on in time to get it from a 30-minute.
Dee Dee?
If you don't have your computer on, you miss the notification.
I see. All right. I guess I'll say hello to the people that are waiting on us to get started here. Hey, Jimmy Pease, welcome. And Sky Dancer, welcome. Mike's Aquatics and Things. Hey, Mike. Mike's doing a sit-out tonight just because he's wanting to rest today and enjoy it. And so I hope that...
In my stream, he was on the floor kicking and screaming.
Was he? See, I missed all
On
the
the floor.
streams because I went to a birthday cookout, so I'm going to have to go back and catch everybody. Let's see, there's Scotty the Fish Freak, Whips, Holly Freaky Fish Lady, Lucky Smith, welcome, welcomes, Dennis, Paul McCarthy, Dee Dee's even out there, Dennis everywhere, Mark Sterlson, maybe getting toward the bottom here. It's all the same.
Grasshoppers.
Grasshopper.
Only Oscars.
Monica Lynn, only Oscars.
Oh, I'm glad you made it, Monica.
There's Skipper down there even.
BJ.
And BJ. Hey, BJ.
Hey, BJ.
Eduardo.
I think that's everybody. Who else? Eduardo just came in. Y'all are ahead of me, evidently. I just saw him in June. All right.
You know, I'm nosy, so I got to know it first.
Right.
Start at the bottom, work your way up.
I did that once already. Thank you, though. I already did that. All right. So, guys, we have, who is it? We have a special guest tonight. So that's why we're all so reserved and respectful and calm.
He'll never come back.
Right. Thanks a lot, guys. It only took me 2 years to get him.
Well, it took 2 seconds for him to change his mind.
I see. But yeah, we have Josh, also known as Aquamate, your Aquamate, and I've been subscribed to his channel a long time, and I think I'm still even a mod over there, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
He might have ditched me because I rarely make it
Oh,
over there.
he has a channel?
Pam. But
You didn't tell me
Yes.
Pam was going to be here.
whoops, where did Pam go? What happened to Pam? So there's his channel. So be sure and check him out. Subscribe to him as well as all of these other awesome people up here. And if you're not, you're missing something. Let me tell you. So he's all the way from Australia. Got up and brushed his teeth and combed his hair this tomorrow morning.
It is
There.
Monday morning for you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
time is it?
It's 10:09 a.m.
Oh, okay. So it's 14 hours ahead. Okay.
You don't know if it's 9 or 10?
10:09. 10:09.
Oh, 10.
Okay.
Oh, no.
9 after 10.
Now, what time zone is that? I know you've got like 3 or 4
I
there.
got it.
Yeah, so I'm on the east coast, so I always just say Australian Eastern Standard Time, and then I think there's only it depends whether it's daylight savings or not, because some states don't do daylight savings and it throws things out.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay.
But that's the reason that 2 years. I thought 2 years would be good suspense. Probably any more than that, you'll get bored and just lose interest. But really, it's Monday morning, so I've never really been able to join you guys on any of these streams because I'm at work. But now I don't have a job or
You
anything.
got fired
So
finally.
I'm like,
Finally got fired.
no, I quit because I said I want to go on the Tennessee Fish Mafia stream. So
That's right.
That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. No, you told us you quit, and I was right on that as soon as the words got out of your mouth. Oh, now you can come on the Tennessee Fish Mafia. I think you said it on Pam's stream one night. So
Yeah, that's right. And that was the other one because I could join Pam on the Thursday for me, Wednesday night for you guys. So it's been good, and I wanted to start doing a few more streams and stuff, but I quit my job to start my own business, and it's a very deep rabbit hole that I'm going down at the moment. Like, oh, maybe I won't have extra time.
What business?
I just a couple of days ago I got my bus license, and I want to do bus tours because where I live, I'm out in the Yarra Valley there's about there's like 50 odd wineries. So I want to be able to pick people up. Like if you guys come down to Melbourne, I can pick you up and then take you out for the day, have a couple of drinks, find food, not worry about driving, not worry about where
Dee,
you
you
go.
ready to go to Melbourne with me?
Hey.
I'm gang.
Well, I need business, so otherwise.
Oh, I
I'll
thought
be
this
busy.
was a complimentary trip.
That was a compliment. Yeah, well, let's see. Maybe a few years' time, if it's doing really well, I can try and shout something.
Is Mike okay?
Yeah,
That's
Mike's
why I'm
okay. He's
scrolling.
being funny. He's just
Okay.
being funny.
I was scrolling up to be sure. Okay,
Well, hopefully he didn't throw himself on the ground and start kicking and screaming, but
right.
He said he was still on the ground. Nobody
I don't
came.
know. If I fall down, I sometimes have a hard time getting up. So I just thought I'd better check, see what's going on here.
So to be like a charter bus type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun. You meet a lot of people that way.
Yeah, so it'll get pretty crazy. So some of the wineries are like, you just sit down out in the sun and just sit back and watch the kangaroos.
is that the
Oh,
only
yeah.
excursion? Is that the only excursion you're planning on doing? Or like if let's say a whole group of people came, could they take your bus and go to like herping? Looking at all the different reptiles and stuff, or you're only focusing on the wineries?
No, that's the thing is I want to keep it pretty open. So on the entertainment side of things, I suppose, like there's distilleries and that sort of thing. So we might go and do something that's a bit different that way. Very similar theme. But there's also a place called Hillsville Sanctuary, which is 15 minutes from me. And it's just Australian native wildlife. Like it's the sort of place
Australia has the best wildlife ever.
Yeah,
the best birds, the best reptiles, the best all of it.
Yeah, and it's all just around the corner. So that's another one. Like could pick you up from a train station or something. Just take people out for that. There's also a lot of events. Like as I'm 50 kilometers from Melbourne. So 50 kilometers might be like 35 miles, maybe, at a guess. And so I'm way away from the city, but I've seen like Stevie Nicks, Cyndi Lauper, Blondie, and all that. There's a big winery that has a big stage and area that they can fit about 12,000 people just on the grass. So usually they'll come out and play as the sun's setting and everyone just, has a picnic basically. So there's those sorts of events too that we can bring people out. There's lots of really big golf courses that some people wouldn't know about. You could do golf trips. And a friend of mine actually was telling me that they know someone that's done what I'm trying to do. And what they're doing is they're driving into the city, for example, and then they're picking up a lot of bike riders and then drive back, and then they can all ride through the Yarra Valley all the way back home. And I was like, I didn't even think about something like that. So
Well, since he carries us to the wine distilleries, I brought my own glass.
That's a fishbowl, Dee.
I like that you finished it before you showed us too.
Yeah, where I live, I'm right next to a river, and they do that with tubing. They take a whole bunch of people, drive them upstream, they get tubed to go back to their car. That's a good idea with bikes, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's it. I'm open to anything, but my wife is very supportive of it all, and she's like, let's just focus on the winery stuff, and I tend to agree with her at the moment.
Yeah.
But I reckon that I might be sitting here on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday going, this isn't working. It's only working on weekends. What can I do? How can I get involved with the Hillsville Sanctuary and that sort of stuff?
That's so interesting. Yeah. Now, how are you marketing that? Like, you get in with all the travel agents in your area?
No, well, it will all be relying on social media, but then, we'll try and get in wherever I can. So I've been going around and meeting a few of the wineries and the owners, and it's been hard work having to do the taste testings and sit down and have meals with them. And
Oh man,
Yeah, so
that's got to be
taking one
tough.
for the team. That's the way to go.
Gotta
Yeah.
love those business meetings.
so it'll be a bit of word of mouth, and then I've got a meeting this afternoon at the pub, and meeting up with the guy who does these things, these tours and whatnot. But he also gets people that fly in from helicopter from Melbourne out to here to one of the wineries, and then he picks them up and takes them around, and then they can get back on the helicopter and fly back. So that would be pretty expensive, but that's a really good deal because then he's not driving in and out of the city the whole time. So he's been really nice and kind enough to say, let's catch up and we'll have a chat about how he sort of does it. But yeah, I think he's looking at giving it up too. So maybe there's something I can help out with on that side.
That's good.
Now, do you have crocodiles in the water there?
No, it's too cold. But it's funny you say that because someone I know told me about a year and a half ago, they're like, I'm going to get a saltwater croc because he's got a few big fish tanks. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to get a saltwater croc? You can't just get a saltwater croc. It's like, yeah, you can. I'm like, but what do you do when it grows up? And he hasn't really got a proper answer. But I got a photo the other day. He's got it. He's got a saltwater croc.
Oh wow!
And he's got a 6-foot fish tank. So it's a baby one at the moment, obviously.
Yeah.
It's in a 6-foot tank because it's going to get 20, 30 feet.
At least, yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, he's got it and it's eating. It seems to be doing well and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen when this thing gets too big because
Next time you see him, he's going to be messing a stinking hand. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
yeah. Well, that's it. Like,
Mm-mm.
yeah, I will keep you guys informed as I know what happens with that story because I'm shocked that he's got it and shocked that he said it's perfectly legal. Doesn't make sense.
That don't
Finger
make sense.
count.
No.
Finger
And see,
count
down
every
here,
time.
it is too cold. So the crocs, even like, so tomorrow I'm lucky enough to be heading to Cairns. So that's the top of Australia. And that is like a crocodile I think it's every 9 kilometers there's a crocodile on the beach. So you don't really want to just go swimming. You actually go down the beach and you look out at the palm trees and you go, this is beautiful. And then you'll see this little net. There's a net box, and that's where you need to swim because they check that there's no crocs in the net. And also you get stingers, all the jellyfish, tiny little jellyfish as big as your thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Sting you in the water, so the net's trying to keep them out as well.
No,
But it
that
looks
would
beautiful.
look broad beach.
Box jellyfish.
Not box jellyfish. What are they?
Man
Gosh,
of
they
war.
just need to make a pool and pump the water in and pump it out. That way you
Yeah.
don't have to go in there.
The irukandji. Some of them. They've actually got a thing. They've got like the 6 different ones that you could run into there, and they're all, not all dangerous, but there's a couple of really dangerous ones. I think box jellyfish are some of them, but the one I'm thinking of are really little. See, if it was tomorrow, or if it was 2 days, I'd be there and I could be like, here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it's
But
called.
now he's got to come back so he can show us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, see, you set yourself up for failure.
I don't
Actually,
know if
I
I want to go swimming there. There's jellyfish and there's those spotted octopus
The blue ringed octopus.
and there's
yeah.
what are they the conches
Stephanie.
that have
Sorry,
are
guys.
sitting on
Coming
the
in hot.
food.
Coming in real hot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's going to be fun. I've been up there a bunch of times, and I did try and do a live stream last time I was there, and the reception is just horrific. Like, I kept the video on my channel for some reason, but it's really bad. So, if it was good, I would totally try and do something and say, "Come along, I'll try and find those things we were talking about." Maybe I'll have to make a video now that I'm up.
Maybe they have better signals now.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, that was one thing that I was going to say that you guys might be interested in is there is an island there called Fitzroy Island. I think I told Bob and Pam this the other day, and it's a turtle sanctuary. So they get all the sea turtles that struggling or whatever, bring them in there to rehab them, and then let them back out into the ocean. And I haven't been there, but I want to go there this time. And that I would definitely be taking my camera for that, because you can pay and do a bit of a tour of the facility. So hopefully I get someone that's pretty friendly and happy to be on camera, and I can ask them a whole bunch of questions and try and get some cool footage, because I'm really curious about it. And the one time, so I've gone swimming on the reef a couple times, but the first time I remember going, I can't breathe, I'm stuffed, I need to get back to the pontoon, I'm too tired. And I turned around and I'm swimming, and all I could just see is everything was just blue. And then this sea turtle just comes up next to me, and I'm like, oh, and he just glided by. It was one of those moments where you're like,
Wow.
Yeah, I will remember that forever.
That's
I
cool.
can see the return trip. It'll be me by myself because Susie won't come back.
I know. I gotta stay there. Do you have any tortoises on your island there? Like any natural tortoises?
On my island?
Well, Australia. I'm sorry. It's not.
Yeah. No, technically,
He's
we're
still on the
biggest.
wine tour.
You know what I meant.
We do. I'm not really great with reptiles, but native turtles. The long neck is the one that I'm thinking of, which I've kept those
cool.
before.
Right.
Super cool.
That is cool. Because I know a lot about the reptiles that you have and the birds that you have. I never thought about the turtles and tortoises that you might have.
So there are, I think there's. So I've got 14 species here of turtle.
14.
So the eastern long neck turtle is the one that is very, very common. And
Are they an aquatic turtle?
as opposed, well, how do you mean aquatic?
As opposed to a land turtle that only stays on the land.
Yeah, no, well, sorry, yeah, they are aquatic. I've had them before and kept them in a 4-foot fish tank.
Okay.
As long as they've got some land to be able to get out of the water.
So they're freshwater.
Freshwater, yes. All these 14, green sea turtles.
Oh, so
Most of them are freshwater, yeah. A friend of mine, my brother-in-law actually, I remember his grandpa was driving along the road and saw an eastern long neck in the middle of the road, and he grabbed it and took it because I think it was an area that they were burning through or whatever. And he gave it to my brother-in-law and ended up having this turtle forever. And you just go, and yeah, my mother-in-law, they were going to do a trip around Australia, and her boyfriend had 2 turtles. He was like, can you watch these guys until we get back? And I'm like, when are you going to get back? Like, so I ended up having them for, I don't know, however many years total. Because I think they got back and then they didn't take them straight away. So I've kept them, but I never actively went to get them or
right.
look after them.
That's so cool.
And a lot of people that I know that have them also on the weekends when they're cleaning the house and stuff, and take the turtle out, let him or her walk around and do her thing.
That's pretty cool.
My son really, really wants to get a lizard or something, but I don't trust it. It will end up becoming my responsibility.
How old's your son?
He's going to be 10 in November.
Yeah.
So I set up a fish tank
throughout college. It'll be his when he comes back and gets married. Then he'll still have it, like when he has children. That's the kind of pet that is.
Yeah, no. I would like to get a green tree frog one day, but yeah.
Well, you have the
No,
Australian's white frog, don't you? They're the coolest frogs ever. They eat their crickets or roaches or whatever with 2 hands, like they're eating a burger. I was missing it down and it barked at me. It's like, ow, ow. I'm like,
Susie, what is it?
it's the Australian white tree frog.
Australian whites.
It's white, but it's really a green tree frog. But look up the Australian white tree frog. There are amazing personalities to watch. they fight over food. They're very food like not
Driven.
aggressive, driven.
Oriented.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and they get good size. They're easily to take care of and handle. They're just fun pet to have.
They're saying here they're for sale for $40.
Yeah.
That's about what mine was here in the United States.
They apparently they are easy to breed, and they have them at Petco here, and I think it was about $40 too. And I thought about getting it, and that was before it. And I found this other little yellow frog, but I was afraid it would eat my little tiny grasshopper frog. So I
Yes, he would.
Would he?
He would. They will eat pinky mice. Yes.
Oh
They,
no!
they get big. They get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Didn't have
Oh
a
my
big
gosh.
grasshopper.
I love these frogs. I love not as big as a bullfrog. We got a bullfrog out front that's like that big. It's crazy, but
Don't give me ideas. Now I'm looking at
the frogs are fun pets, especially for like a 10-year-old, and he'd be building his own terrarium for it. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I think it'd be a lot of fun because my appreciation for plants has just grows every month, every year since probably since the last 4 years of getting back into fish tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so now I love making wabi-kusas and that sort of thing. So I'd be like,
Yeah.
totally turn wabi-kusa into terrarium style, and it'd be perfect environment for a frog.
Yeah.
What fish are you keeping now, Josh?
What have I got? So I've got the dwarf neon rainbow tank over there, which is all the lights are off. So all my lights come on at like 3 in the afternoon and then go off at about 10 or 11 at night because that's when I can enjoy it. So,
That's how I do it.
but so the dwarf neon rainbows, which I think are stunning, also known as praycocks, they were breeding in there, but they really, really like the taste of their kids apparently because none of the babies seem to survive. What else have I got? I've got a few ocellaris, so clownfish, in a marine tank. The tank seems to have stabilized a fair bit, and that's what I've been waiting for to then get some more coral. So for those that don't know, about a year ago we had a flood and we lost power for like 3 days, and I lost a lot of fish and stuff. So that tank still probably is only maybe now just recovered properly. So I could put some more corals in there. I've set up a white cloud colony in a tank. That's a 90-liter tank, like a cube. And that was the first fish my dad bought me when I was 8 years old were white clouds. So it was a little bit of a tribute to him. It is an algae factory and a half at the moment because it's still sort of going through its cycle, but it looks awesome. All the plants are growing. The fish seem really happy, but I've just got so much algae pushing through. So I'll get on top of that when I get back from Cairns. What else have I got? Well, really super large goldfish that I'm probably going to rehome.
All right. They get pretty big, huh?
Yeah, well, he's about that big. So he's 12 inches, maybe 10, 12 inches. He's in a 4-foot tank with a couple of cories. Like the heater's on 21 in that tank, and there's a couple of cories and yo-yo loaches. And then what else is there? Oh yeah, a whole bunch of endlers. Got a bit of an endler breeding project, and then I've got some neon tetras and ember tetras, and a whole bunch. I'm going to sort of get rid of that large tank. I'm not going to get rid of anything in particular, but I almost feel like I'm going to limit myself now. Keep the guys that I've got, but then get new tanks for them, and then work on the aquascape side of things and implement those fish into those tanks, and try and streamline the look of things because it's a bit of a mess in there. And I make weekly YouTube videos, so I'm obviously pretty committed to it. So I would like to make it a bit more viewer friendly, I suppose.
Yeah.
And also work a bit easier, that I can just go into that spot and I can edit and film videos, but also have all the tanks behind me looking pretty.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Alishan wants to know if you've ever kept the desert gobies from Australia.
No, I haven't. I feel like I don't know if I've seen them. I feel like I've seen them, but I can't picture it. The name rings a bell. They're freshwater gobies, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the desert.
Doing lots of Google.
Oh, that's so cool.
Josh,
I have-
are you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask how prevalent are the pseudomugil mellis out there that you can get your hands on? The honey blue eye pseudomugil.
Pam's favorite fish.
Right.
They are not very common, but you can find them at certain times of the year available in fish stores. So, how long ago would it be now, Pam? Pam just kept talking about them, so I went, I'm going to go buy some.
Yeah, I
Seems
I
like
still
30
like
years
them,
now.
but yeah, they can't
Yeah,
be. They're on the red list. They cannot be shipped out of Australia anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so there was about, I think I bought 4, and 2 of them died pretty quickly. And then the other 2 were fine for a long time, and eventually, I think they only really have like a 1-year lifespan.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
They're so
And
beautiful.
I've seen them again since, but people want, I think it's about $60 for a pair of them.
Yeah, it's expensive. Out here, it's like $600 for a pair.
I could imagine.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's expensive.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because you don't want to get a pair. You want to get 6 to 10.
Colony,
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the people that seem to have a bit of luck breeding them are the outdoor tubbing. So they do a lot
Yeah,
better out
that's what I've heard.
in
It's
the
to tub
spring
them.
and summer months, yeah. And then you got to bring them back in. And then they might not survive, that whole process. So I suppose it's just so tricky. I've done a bit of research about them, and they come from Queensland, so southeast Queensland, I think it is. So sort of in the middle to the east of Australia. And then there's a few other ones as well up there that they're trying to which one is it? It's a red eye. I think it's a red eye pseudomogul or something like that. Very similar size and everything, but they got down to maybe 400 that they could count left. And then they started breeding them. And then now they've reintroduced them to some of the waterways up there as well. And I was trying to get the guy who was running the whole program to have a chat with me on AQUA, but I think he was talking to me, and then he probably saw AQUA and went, "Oh, not this guy. I don't want to hang out with him."
So where you are in Australia, how close are you to other the Australian YouTubers that we probably all know?
So Blake's Aquatics he's about 2 and a bit hours away. So he's like, so you've got Melbourne here, and then I'm up here.
Okay.
And then there's another city, which I'm not going to have enough room on the screen, down here called Geelong, and he's down that way. So
Okay.
we have caught up a couple of times, and I will see him in about 40 days as well, because we've got the Underwater Pet Expo, so the second ever Underwater Pet Expo is
Underwater pet. I like that.
yeah. Last time, so I do get asked some things, and I did plan the layout for it this year, but last time we did it was 2020, like just before COVID sort of hit Australia. So we're pretty lucky with all of that, and we paired it with the reptile exhibition as well.
Oh, that's
So
great.
pretty popular then, because the reptile expo was a lot bigger, and then people could just walk back and forth between the two, which was great. But this has taken over 2 years now to try and reorganize it and get it into about 30 months actually, because it was early 2020 and now we're going late 22. So to kick that off again, which will be a lot of fun. So Blake will be there. The other one that's local to me is Taryn, who's Podgy from Australia. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a
Yeah.
young guy and he's super charismatic on camera and he just does a lot of research. Very smart kid. And he's he's just starting to fall into the saltwater side of things. He's dipped his toe in and he likes it a lot. And now he's got seahorses. So he's a really good one. So if you don't know him, definitely follow his channel. I'm assuming you all know Blake because he's sort of blown up a fair bit, which is good for him. The other one is Keeping Fish Simple, who's really blown up. He's in Brisbane, so he's like way away.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of everybody. It's kind of weird because there was a lot of it. Oh, Dr. Black. He's a lot further up north. I don't know if he does anything fish related now. He just talks about Star Wars with Joel all the time. I will try and join him as well in the chat too, because again, he was always streaming while I was working. But yeah, if anyone's got anyone in particular they're thinking of, yell out and you probably know where they are.
Do you ever go collecting native fishes yourself?
No. Silver Creek Aquatics said that question as well, collecting from the ocean. I think you can, but you've got to do it at a certain time. So I think it's ANGFA, so Australian New Guinea Fish something.
Mm-hmm.
You become a member with them. I think it's like $100 a year or something like that. And they do have planned trips to go out to collecting fish. The only time I've ever collected fish was with me and my son, just having a bit of fun. And I ended up just collecting mosquito fish, which are a pest down here anyway. But that was a bit of fun because I never realized mosquito fish are so similar to guppies as well.
You didn't mention Dr. Black. Are you near him?
Yeah, he's up north. So he's like on the border of New South Wales and Queensland. Yeah.
You did, Bob, but maybe you were caught up in the accent too.
Dr. Black.
Well, who posted the question in there? Somebody's posting questions.
I think it was Alishan.
No, I mean in the private chat.
That's me. That's me popping them in there.
Okay. Well, I just now got it. I just read it. So, okay.
Okay.
You're good.
Oh, yeah, you need Dr. Black. Dr. Black where's near Bondi, I think it is. So where all the rich American famous Hollywood stars go to when they want to come and visit Australia.
Really?
They go to Dr. Black's house.
Well, they don't want to go there when he's mowing grass and it's hot. Still mowing naked.
They just want to see him wrestle the crocodile, though. He keeps it going on about.
Is that where Helen Reddy lived?
Helen Reddy.
Oh wow, that's a name from the past.
Who?
Yeah.
Wow. Who said who?
I did.
She was like an international big star back in the 70s and 80s. Remember the song "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar"?
Yep.
And lots of others. Well, there was an article about her recently, and she's this little old granny, but she passed right after that. But she was living in Australia in a condo, and I don't know where.
Did she do Delta Dawn?
No.
Who did that one?
Yes.
Tanya Tucker.
No, no. Before that. I think it was Helen Reddy.
Oh, I never think she did it.
Yeah, she did
Tanya
it before.
Tucker's well, and I did.
Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on?
God.
Do you know Dame Melly Melba? Does that ring a bell to anyone?
Who?
Dame Melly Melba. Might just be an Aussie thing.
Yes.
Yes?
I know who that is. Yes.
Yeah, so she's the first one.
More culture deny him.
She built a house out near where I am. I don't know what country she's from, but I think she's sort of went back and forth, and this was her summer house, and she was the first person in Victoria to have a swimming pool. And so she was a famous opera singer, I think.
Wow.
She was a famous singer. Apparently, she was a real piece of work as well. But
why with the swimming pool? Is that because you guys flood a lot? Like, why would she be the first one with a swimming pool?
No, I don't know. Wealth. First person that could afford to get people in to dig a hole in their backyard and fill it.
Yeah.
It
Because
was
it's a
for
beautiful place.
her pet saltwater croc.
Sorry?
I said it was for her pet saltwater croc.
Yeah.
It's too cold for the. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what could be a local prize sort of.
Fishy
animal.
Mom wants to know if you live closer to Tom Jones.
Well,
he live in
what I was going to
Australia?
say is she's obviously gone now, but she is also. You can go there now and you can sit down and have lunch and stuff and go through all that history. And it's like a big winery section. Like it sort of opens up to the winery section. But I just thought, yeah, you might know who she is, and then you go, oh.
So you guys got a lot of wine out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds like.
I don't really drink wine.
Country
So.
there.
I just like sitting outside in the cold drink and eating
yeah.
cold meats
Nice.
and cheeses and just looking at the view and the sun.
Well, could you give us like a group rate if we get a bunch of fish fam and show up there?
100%.
100% off? Wow.
I like that.
Hey,
That'd be
it's
nice.
Sorry,
free
Dee, and
advertisement,
Fishy Mom,
you say.
do I live near Tom Jones? I don't think so.
Fishy Mom just wants some of those leftover women's panties that people used to throw at him. That's all.
That's our fisherman.
Oh God.
I was
that's
just
funny.
thinking as well too, Susie. So my wife has a horse, and we had gisted it up the road, like a kilometre away. And Harry and I and my wife went up there because we was feeding him in the morning. And Harry's like, "Dad, I've got to show you something." Okay, so we get out, we walk them through the stables. The stables are really long. We get to the end of the stables, and there's probably like about a 20 meter by 6 meter by 6 meter cage with a pair of peacocks.
Oh,
In there.
wow.
Yeah, I'll need to get like a photo or something and send it
Yeah,
over.
that'd be beautiful.
They'd only had them for a couple of days, so they're a bit skittish. When we came up, they're like wandering around going, how do I stay away from these people?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're stunning. Beautiful birds.
Wow. So somebody's asking where you live. Craig, do you live in Australia? I think Craig lives in Australia too. He wants to know
Yes.
where you come from.
Yeah, where did I come from? I came from my mum.
Damn it, you're going to have to pay attention to these comments, these questions, Josh.
Oh, I'm in Victoria, Australia.
Victoria.
Yeah. Bottom right. We're really weird here because
Craig, where are you from? I think he's in Australia
I thought
Yeah, he is.
because he just said good morning.
Craig was from here or New South Wales.
He's always live streaming when I go to bed, like at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I live, it's like it gets really cold and like we get all 4 seasons properly. Whereas on the west and the north, it's nice and sunny a lot of the time. But we've been told to expect a lot of rain over the next 2 to 3 months, and we've just come into spring. So pushing into summer, they're saying that we're going to get a lot of rain. And we flooded last year, but this year we've sort of got to the same amount of water without just going onto the road. So it's pretty wet out there. Like there's lots of farmland, and you drive around and you go, that was a paddock yesterday, and now it's a river. Like what's going on?
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you
But
anywhere?
that's just where I am because I'm in the valley, and all the
Right.
water's going to come through.
Are you
Like,
anywhere near Taree, North Southwest? Is that what NSW stands for? TAREE.
New South Wales.
Oh, New South
Sorry.
Wales. Oh,
Oh.
he's from.
I thought the same thing too,
I did
Susie.
too.
I was like, wait,
Susie.
I have no idea what that is. I know if you're
New
gonna
South.
say the city and the state. That's all I know.
So much culture and yeah.
We're pretty. That's how we do this. So Victoria is Vic, VIC.
And I know
QLD.
something about the skinks and where they're from, because I've got a northern skink. So, and then I studied a little bit about the eastern blue tongue skink. And
I feel like when this is just a theory. When you hear about Australian animals and you hear eastern, it's probably down where I am. to the
oh,
bottom.
really?
Because then once you get more north, so once you get to North New South Wales, the climate it just gets warmer and more humid and a lot more tropical. So it sort of seems like eastern would mean southeastern, most likely.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like a whole different world. Like I will get on the plane tomorrow morning in a jumper and pants and probably a beanie or a hat or something, just keeping as warm as I can. And I will get off in Cairns and I'll be like, get it off. It's too hot. And then on the way back, I'll be in shorts and a t-shirt and I'll get home and be freezing. So it's just very different. And that's just the whole thing of getting closer to the equator.
Right.
Are
And
you-
have you ever been to Tasmania?
Yes, I
Oh,
have.
Oh, cool.
When I was,
So jealous.
maybe 14. Gee. That realization of that wasn't 16 years ago. It was 23 years ago. Yeah, I've been there and it's stunning. So there's
I've heard
a
that.
boat called the Spirit of Tasmania, which leaves Melbourne and then lands in Devonport. I think it's a 10-hour boat trip. When I went on it, there was zero entertainment on the train. So I was like,
Oh.
we there yet?
After
And,
1 hour, are we there yet?
Yeah, we had the car, so then at least we stopped in Devonport, and then we drove down to Launceston, which I felt like I was in Europe a lot of the time because it was like the first place basically to get colonized. So a lot of those buildings and stuff are still around. And then I went down to Port Arthur, which is where that big Australian massacre happened.
Oh, wow.
All those years ago, and it
I
happened
remember that.
a couple of years before. Before I went there was when that happened, and so that was basically they'd ship people over from England who stole a loaf of bread. And they're like, "You're a criminal, and you're going to now go to jail on the other side of the world."
Wow.
And so it sort of had like this port. It's all natural. They had an island out there. They talk about whenever people die, they take them out to the island and bury them on that island. And there's something like, they reckon 4,000 people on this island about the size of your average house. It's like, it's just this
Wow.
weird thing. Or maybe a couple of houses. But it was just really surreal because it was so beautiful. And you think, this is a prison? Like, they must have landed here and gone, oh, I would have stole bread earlier. I knew this was.
They'd be
where I
like,
was-
"Thank you."
Yeah, right?
Like,
Now,
yeah,
do they have
Tassie's
Go
really
ahead.
cool.
Do they have the cool reptiles and stuff, or are the animals totally different there?
No, so they'd be more on the same side as me, so the eastern side. So I'm trying to think of anything in particular that's native to Tassie that's not over here.
Do they
There was
have
obviously-
kangaroos?
Yeah, I think actually they've only got a smaller breed of kangaroo. I think I might be making that up. There's wallabies as kangaroos, but I have a feeling they have a smaller kangaroo over
They
there.
got Tasmanian Devils.
Yeah, Tasmanian Devils, which you can't.
That's real?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're really cool little animals. You should look them up, Susie.
Do they spin around like?
The cartoon.
yeah, that's exactly what I do. No, that's the thing. I don't get that because the Tassie Devil looks nothing like what a Tasmanian Devil looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Tasmanian Tiger, which is, I was watching something the other day. People are still going on about, no, they're not extinct, and they were all over Australia, and they reckon that Tassie is like an apple, sort of. And this side is well populated, and the city's at the bottom and off to the side. And this side is just no one's like it's
Like all
no one's
national
been to
park.
half of it because
Yeah.
it's all national park, and you kind of so they're called thylacines, and they reckon that they're pretty skittish. And there's people that have been out there looking after the park and say, yeah, I've seen them like 4 or 5 times. And there
Yeah,
was
I've
one
seen a lot
bloke-
on YouTube about them. Like they're supposed
Yeah.
to be extinct, but a lot of people are still seeing them.
Yeah, because what's interesting about them is they are a marsupial. So they're a predator marsupial. There's nothing else is really a predator marsupial that I can
Right.
think
It's a horror movie.
Yeah. Ready to happen right there.
of. I hope that they're around. But yeah, they reckon that they were all over Australia. It was just Tassie was the last place that they I don't know, were around the most recent. Because yeah, it was in the 1930s. There's video footage of them
Yeah.
in the zoo. But yeah.
So cool.
Hey, you mentioned the reptile expo coincided with the underwater pet or the water pet thing, and I remember how huge that was. So, what reptiles did you pick up there? What reptiles are you keeping?
None.
What?
No, I don't like reptiles. They're great. No. No, I've never, other than when I was a little kid, picking up skinks and
don't
building
really
a home
have-
in a box for them and then finding them dead and going, what did I do wrong? I've never kept any reptiles other than the turtles also for those couple of
Okay.
years. I just don't. I think I will one day, but as I sort of said earlier, I reckon it would probably just be the frogs. It's one of those things you love it or you can leave it. I'm not mad about lizards and stuff, whereas Harry is mad about it, but I know that I would end up having to be careful.
So if you went to this expo where there's underwater pets, you wouldn't go film the reptiles for us, would you?
Remember
From now on, I will keep in mind. Hey, look, I want to. I mean, the turtle thing I think will be
Oh
Yeah, that's cool.
stunning for everyone as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I really need to utilize the fact that I live in the Hillsville Sanctuary
Yeah.
and go and do a tour there because then, I will.
Fishymon says, are there any plecos that are indigenous to Australia?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I don't think
Think
so.
of any either, but that's weird.
Yeah, you would think there'd be some.
The boring part about the Australian fish side is because it's so cold down here. Like it's not, it's not snowing.
In your
and all
area.
that, but it's just most of the fantastic things you're thinking of that when you think of Australian is north, like right up the top. So yes, I'm really selling where I live, aren't I? We just make wine here, and the animals just stay away from us. But up north, that's where it's more tropical. So then you get a lot of those, like a lot of the pseudomogals and a lot of the rainbow fish, are native to like New Guinea and I've gone blank. Well,
Yeah, New Guinea.
Northern Queensland, and I've just gone blank on a country that Indonesia. They're
There
all
you
from around that area.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, if Australia had plecos, they'd be 3 times the size with venomous fangs. Good
Yeah,
point.
no kidding, right?
That's the
Good
great
point.
some sort of venom, yeah.
Wow.
I can't think of any. I'm pretty sure. I'll try and find a picture. I can think of one catfish that's native, I'm pretty sure. But they get a lot bigger.
I miss Ed not being here to show pictures on his cell phone, you know?
I know, right? And you just go like,
The Tandanus,
the what?
Tandanus catfish.
It's got razor sharp teeth and weighs 30 pounds.
Oh,
Wow.
I wish
I
it
know.
was so long.
oh, wow.
It's cool.
Oh, that's different. I like that.
I think it's cold water too.
I
Even
love
better.
cold water fish.
Eel-Tailed
Oh, wow.
Catfish is probably the
Oh, it
better.
looks like a cross between a catfish and a tadpole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
So yeah, sorry, its common name is an eel-tailed catfish.
Oh, so cool.
Nice.
But you see how boring looking it is as well? Like no colors, no nothing. So that's all the cold water southern stuff is sort of like that, whereas all the fancy cool looking things are up north. And the things that want to eat you and poison you and sting you.
I don't think there's anything boring or common in Australia. You just, yeah, I won't believe it.
Well, we get the we get redback spiders around here a bit. They're nasty. And white-tailed spiders, probably everyone's probably accidentally sat on or stood on, or I slept on one. I woke up one morning and I'm like, oh, what is that? It's a dead spider.
Oh my
It's
God.
a white-tailed spider, and it's under me. Like I
Oh
bowled onto it.
no.
Screw that.
Taking it.
Yeah.
What's that one?
That's
Oh,
a
that's the-
white-tailed spider.
That's the white-tailed, yeah.
Oh, no
Ugh,
thank you.
it looks nasty.
What's
Yeah.
the worst spider that's in your area? That's the most venomous.
The redback. So the redbacks, and I love it too because they're like, oh, there's a plague of redbacks coming through the Yarra Valley, and I'm like, a plague of really don't want to know about that.
That's like when they tell us the killer bees are coming.
Yeah, look at them. So that's the redback. How stunning looking
dang.
are they, though?
It's known as the Australian black widow.
I was gonna say it looks like a black widow almost. Probably
No,
related.
anything that's
Right.
black and red, man, just run that way.
Yeah.
Well, we had them in the front garden for a little while, so like trying to prune and look after the garden and stuff. I just didn't want to put my hands in. I just ended up just getting a weed whacker and being like, nah.
Like, will
Yeah,
it send
that's
you to
dumb.
the hospital, or what's its bad? Or is
I
it-
think they can be strong enough to kill you, but
Oh
they
dang!
can most likely make you really sick, and they'll kill a dog and a kid. And then the other one, I think they're the second most venomous spider in the world, and the most venomous is the
Wow.
funnel web spider, and they're in New South Wales, but they have been seen down here as well. I think.
Okay, there's an idea. Guided tours for the venomous spider
Your
habitat.
best. Yeah.
I don't think I get too many people. You know what's really crazy though is in autumn or spring. Might be autumn. You drive out through the paddocks, and it'll be like there's frost all over all the grass, but it's not. It's spider webs because they're jumping,
Oh my
and
god.
you're just like,
Oh,
that's
wow.
when you look and go, wow, that's how many spiders there are, because you can see them from the road
I've
driving.
seen photographs of that, and that's like a big no thank you.
Yeah,
Funnel spider.
yeah. Look at that. That just looks like you're in
You
trouble.
know.
Imagine having that spider that eats birds.
No,
Oh my goodness.
that's
Yep.
just nasty.
The tarantulas.
Nope.
You guys,
What
the
if-
male redback spider is pretty. To me,
Yeah.
Said who?
I said.
So what's the thing with all those carpet pythons? People keep those and breed them, and but they're everywhere there, right? Seems like Dr. Black has them all over his place, or he goes to get them out of
But you
people.
can't sell them to anybody, right? You can't give them to anybody. You can't ship them anywhere.
So I'm not 100% sure with that, but they, again, Dr. Black's up north, so they'd like them warm because we don't get them down here.
That's pretty.
Look at Dee Dee's on point.
Hey.
She's into the reptiles.
Yeah, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they call the carpet pythons children's pythons, and they're really popular
Yeah.
beginner snakes for people getting into the hobby because I don't know a lot about them, but I think the whole thing is they're not venomous and they're pretty docile and chilled, and
Yeah.
they
They're
don't.
pretty.
And
That
the
looks,
handle
that
of it.
looks docile for sure.
That looks like it could get a hold of like
He would
my
take the
family.
whole wrist right there.
Yeah.
That's one that Dr. Black's wrestling a crocodile next to, and he's getting a bit too close. We have the snakes that we have are really fun. The brown snake, which is the
Brown
most-
snakes that are really poisonous, aren't they?
I think it's the most deadly snake in the world, and the tiger snake.
Yeah.
They're the ones that we get locally. So
May
they-
Go ahead. I was just gonna say something to Silver Creek Aquatics that the paradise fish is my favorite fish.
They're
It
beautiful.
was my
man.
ultimate favorite, and the albino is even, So I know it was the first fish in our hobby, and some of us still love it. That's like,
Oh, it's
those
pretty.
We had them before betas, and then we
Yep.
got betas. So
two.
yeah.
Yep.
How big do they get, Susie?
The paradise fish?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a small gourami, about that big.
Oh, pretty.
And they breed Like the betta fish, like they got the bubble nest and they do the twirly thing and put somebody in a coma, you know. Just put the woman right out, dropping her eggs. It's pretty fun to watch. It's like, whoa.
That was funny.
All right, Daniken just went live, so
That was fast,
I
man.
know
Yeah,
it was.
This was awesome, Josh. I'm so glad you were able to come on.
No, thanks for having me. And I've got to correct myself. Apparently, the inland taipan is the most deadly or venomous. But I think there's like technicalities.
Now I gotta look that up.
Can you
No,
give
thank you
us-
very much for having me. It's been a lot of fun
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
It's
We
even-
loved it.
just good not to be working and being able to see you guys as well now.
Dee Dee's still showing them all off.
Dee Dee's into the reptiles now.
That's the inland taipan.
Yeah.
I don't want any of those. Can you think of a good hashtag, Josh, for Daniken? So when we go over there,
I'm not good at thinking on my feet. Da-da-da-da.
for what we're paying you, we need a hashtag. Come on.
Right? Holy shit.
Hashtag pet saltwater croc.
Oh, saltwater croc. I love
We'll
it.
do the pet.
Saltwater
People will be like, what do you mean a pet saltwater croc?
All right.
That's a good
Yes, it
one.
is.
Love it. Love it.
Jimmy P said you're a super young man. Thanks for having him. I couldn't agree more. Thanks,
Steve.
Josh.
Thanks
Yeah.
everyone in the
He's
chat
good.
as well.
Appreciate you. Thank you, panel, and thank you, moderators. And I'll see y'all at Daniken.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Hi
cuss. yet.
guys.
I feel like we're on the Brady Bunch.
What the hell?